Oops. Okay, so I will be very brief about generalities. I think most people here know about them. It's mainly for you to know about how to apply. So what's more important, as you know, it's a €3 million project where most of it is to be allocated to fund and to support teams of technologists and designer artists to develop wearable prototypes. The project as a whole runs over 2 years. Each team to be supported will be during 6 months. So this is a slide that summarizes a bit everything we are aiming to do over these 2 years. From the sustainable innovation, so let's say that the core of it from a financial point of view, where we allocate the money, select the teams and support them. We create, of course, the ecosystem to ensure the support, but also to ensure then that after these 2 years, there's still something going on related to the project and not that it stopped in the end of 2018. Knowledge exchange is very important for us through the events we're organizing, but also via our digital platform. And the aim, or the gist of it is we want it to be sustainable, ethical, regarding some criteria, environmental, related to the data, and so on. That's why one important outcome for us is to build a toolkit that will be built out of the exchange we get from the events, out of the knowledge we get also from our digital platform, and importantly from the work that will be done by these up to 48 teams that we are going to select. So how can you apply? And here, to be really specific, I'm talking about applying as teams for this up to 50K granting. I'm not talking about being involved in the network. You can find information about this on our website, for example. We'll also deal with it in other webinars to come. A general thing you need to know about the first open call. So it opened early April. It's going to close in the end of this month. We are going to allocate up to 50,000 euro. But the nature of the project, I will really come back to this more as a conclusion. So, or all along the presentation actually. So let's not go a bit too long about this more general points. Even before applying, something really important, and to be honest, a challenge that is also very important for the European Commission is that we want to build teams of artists and technologists. What we suggest, so in this process here, really important is that some of you already have teams. You already are an engineer who knows with which artists you're going to work, for example, or conversely. But it's also a challenge for some of you to find a partner. There are at least 2 ways we can do that. There are during the events that we are organizing, or that our associated partners are organizing, that have started last month, are going on this month until the end of the open call. But we also modified our network platform in order for you to allow that. So now that you found a partner, or this is helping you to find a partner, and now you thought it through about what you want to develop during the 6 months, with whom, how innovative it is, and so on. How do you apply? So you can access, we are using the F6S platform for this. I will go through this and take a bit more time for some of the points explaining what we really want to see from you. You can access it via our website. There's an open call web page if you click on apply now, or directly on the F6S platform. If you go on the F6S platform, you'll find more or less this page. I'm going to show you just on the slides the first thing you see when you register to gain a bit more time, I will then go directly to the content of what is required. So you will see something like, okay, welcome to F6S, where you can connect via your Facebook, LinkedIn, or with only your email if you don't want to link all your accounts. You will see, okay, let's get started. Means you need to create your team, start a profile. So what is the name of your team? You create that. You can invite other people. So in this case, TestWare is the name I created to just to show you the screenshots. Then you can invite people. That's going to be the other members of your team. So we'd expect at least another person that you would invite, but there's no upper limit to the number of people. And then you will be on the website, on the F6S platform. And this will look a bit like that. So again, this is the Renevson. It's just a startup profile I've created to test a few things and to show you. Basically, you have three main types of information to fill in. The basic information, information related to the team, and then the questions that are part of your application. Very important for you to understand a bit how the platform works and how we are using it in our process. Basic information and the information to update your team. That's something that is like the regular questions asked by F6S platform. The F6S platform is really a huge platform with more than 1.5 million users, but it is aimed mainly at startups. Very convenient to handle the open calls. That's why we're using it, but don't be too annoyed by the vocabulary used. Okay, it is aimed at other types maybe of users than what you are. So basically startup, whereas you are maybe an artist. But you should not, I will explain to you how you can adapt it a bit, especially in the two first categories. So the first type of information, it's basic information. As I was saying, again, the F6S is aimed at startups. So it first starts with the first short description of startup. Okay, you don't have to do that. And also something I will repeat 2 or 3 times. What is in basic information? What is in the team information? That's not what we use as core to evaluate. Most of the questions are mandatory. I also don't think it takes so long to fill in, to be honest. Some are a bit repeating what comes afterwards. But the evaluation, 99% of it is based on the rest, on what is under questions. So that's why I will go very briefly about this. So short description of startup, it just means description of your team. Okay, what do you do is more to know about your own expertise. There is a question, for example, about the markets. Well, we don't expect the team or yourself as an individual to be necessarily selling already a product, but it's more like, okay, what are the usages or the potential usages you have in mind for your prototype? It's anyway something you need to think about also for the main questions. Then we arrive at two questions that may not be so easy: the product demo video and the mobile app, but that's something that is not mandatory. As you see, there's no star next to it, so it's not a mandatory question. If I go to the team, then updating the team, you have a certain number of information to provide about the people, for each of the people that are going to apply with you. We think it's rather standard. okay, to tell us something amazing you built. The vocabulary may be a bit over the top. It's okay, if you have an idea here, okay, again, it's not mandatory, and that's not something we're going to look at when we are to evaluate your application. Now we go to the questions, the 14 questions that are really core and that you should really take time to answer to. Well, first thing again, they are all important, but of course, again, the ones that do not have any star are not mandatory. Usually, it's a bit better to respond to them, but if you don't respond, it doesn't mean you're not going to be selected. Please also note, but automatically it will be cut anyway, but to not have a bad surprise if you're applying on the last day, for example. Please note that you also have a limitation in the number of characters. Importantly, also, you see this locker here. This locker is telling telling you that the status of the information you're providing here contrary to the rest. The information on updating your team and the basic information, it's information that you provide to have success. Information that is here in question, it's information that is going to remain private between us, I mean us in this case, of course, including the reviewers that are going to review each of the applications that are going to be proposed. So, okay, let's just follow the thing. I will be maybe very fast on some of them, just ask a question in the chat box if it's not clear, but I think for the first one there's not so much to ask. So describing the proposal, describing the team, and especially how then the collaboration should take place, either based on past experiences or if it's a new team, also on how just you envision this collaboration to take place. Uploading the CV of every team member, so that's one file with all the sorry, with all the CVs on it. The project pitch, follow the need, approach, benefit, competition approach. Of course, this may look more like an economic point of view, especially the notion of competition. Keep more in mind that it's to help the reviewers and in the end the WEAR Sustain project to help choose which prototypes are the most interesting. So we need to know which one are the most innovative, and for us to evaluate that, we first need to know how you position yourself compared to others. If you deliberately just want to do the same thing as somebody else, well, fine, but maybe that's not what we want to fund. We want to fund something that is original and innovative compared to what already exists. Next step after the project pitch is the prototype plan. So the question 9 is about technology readiness level. I have one slide that summarizes it well, so I will not dwell on it here. And also note that this one is not a mandatory question. We have then a question about describing the prototype and project plan. That's the long one. Compared to the first set of questions in the pitch, this is more about the implementation. So, of course, we like great ideas, but we want to be sure that during the 6 months you know what you're aiming at. Of course, this is kind of a research development process. Not everything can be foreseen, but still well, as you know, it's a public money, so we should be to some extent adverse to risk too. So be confident that you know what you want to do. You can then, if needed, upload a prototype plan. It's especially because there you can put a clearer timeline usually. Also, I don't know, a table with the budget that you cannot, that it's easier than to write it down. Next step is the business ID. Again, maybe don't stick too much to the word business here. Of course, if you have a commercialization plan after the 6 months of support, that's great. If you don't, it doesn't mean we're not going to select you. There are two aspects to what we limit a bit here to the notion of business. It's wealth. First, indeed, if you want to sell something, but then it's more like, okay, you have an idea of what is going to take place after the 6 months. Is it go further working on the prototype, selling the prototype, deriving some ideas from the prototype, and so we want to know a bit what you want to do after. So again, it's written also go to market. Here it's market in the sense of have potential uses of what you want to develop, really. And then finally, for this business ID, you need to provide a video to explain a bit the project, the plan, the business ID, a bit summarizing what you've done before, but in a video format, a short video format. It doesn't need to be HD quality, but the sound and the image just need to be very clear. And finally, 2 points about the submission. The first one is the required project support and implementation services in the up to 50K, because maybe you need less, that you can receive if you are selected. There will be at least 10 to 15K that we ask you to spend for services. We think that, of course, we're going to select brilliant people with brilliant projects, but you may make use of some support anyway. We are building, we're finalizing now the portfolio of services for the first open call, hubs, mentors, and other experts that can help you. It's good already if you have an idea about, okay, in this team we are very strong in this and that, but we have no legal expertise, for example. Or in the other way around, like we are wondering about this very precise question, business question, or in terms of ethics and sustainability, is it somewhere where we could get some support? What you're going to write here, we cannot guarantee 100% that you will get it, because also maybe we will think that it's not a good idea. It's going to be more in a discussion with the selected teams. Okay, we think you should do this and that based on what you propose, and so on. And finally, there's something about recommendation. This is outside of what we ask. It's more an F6S ID, and why not? That you can ask for recommendation from people who are already registered on F6S, or you can enter their mail and they will see that. The only important point you need to know at this point is that if you ask to say, okay, I want to be endorsed by this or that person, they are not going to see all the information that was here before. Of course, they are going to see, I've been asked to endorse this or that, but not the whole thing. So I'm already a bit late. If I go back to the slides here, a few variable points. Okay. First, variable point about the technology readiness level. Well, the slide is not complex, but there's quite some content in that, so I'm not going to read all the points in there. Our partner has tried to really map the TRL, the usual TRL scale, a standard one, with what we expect. So we really try to make it fit more to the projects we want to select. Again, I'm not going to discuss everything now. You will receive the slides by tomorrow. I hope also the video of all this by tomorrow, and then you can see, go more, take more time and see a bit. Okay, what does it really mean in my case where I'm trying to develop this or that? What we want to fund is prototypes that are at least 3. They can be 4 also. For them to develop until level 6 or 7. Obviously, if you aim at the end to have much more and you are able to prove that you can do that, fine to us. But we don't expect that most teams will be able to jump, I don't know, from 3 to 9. Well, I think it's already well explained. But if you have questions, do not hesitate. We have themes for the call. Not going. Well, I could spend 5 or 10 minutes on each of them. We don't have time for this now. But you see the different themes for environment, use, reuse, and waste. More on bodies, thematics, energy, health. More on the data, and then there's also an open category, because of course we don't pretend that that in our consortium we know everything about all the themes that could be interesting in our view. To summarize a bit the application structure, and that's especially the questions I was talking about, and you see then that overall it's more or less like a 10-page application. We've tried to make it rather short. It's a maximum. You don't have to necessarily fill the 10 pages, and our reviewers will be very happy if you're able to do as good with with fewer pages. So that's it for me. Yeah, more or less on time. So we can now go to the question. Thanks a lot. I will start with a few questions that I've received by mail a few minutes before it started, and also because a few of the questions are not too difficult. My colleagues who are also in there, I hope they've seen the question in the question box, and I will go through the question and see if I can respond. And if not, will also ask my colleagues. They will be free to see. So I will start with the questions I received. We have 10-15 minutes for that. Please keep adding your question either to the chat box or to the question list. I had a question about SMEs and non-profit organization to apply as a consortium. Yes, of course, why not? No problem. It should be a team. So the minimum I can imagine is to have 2 individuals. Now, more than this is possible. Of course, we only provide up to 50K, so I can't really imagine that you have a big consortium of 5 or more organizations. But it's a bit up to you and how you envisage your prototype development. Yeah, that's basically actually the other question I received. I had a question: would it be possible for the consortium to apply for the call only as one country? I think what the question means in this case is, okay, is it mandatory to have a cross-country team? No. And yeah, and actually the person who wrote me would be good if she would point me to the how to say that, the text that made her think so, because it should not be the case. Of course, it's European funding, okay? So we valorize a lot everything that is cross-border, okay? So if you have 2 countries versus a project that is only in 1 country, I would say that, of course, yeah, the one with 2 countries or more would be a bit favored, but don't think it's such an issue to be only based in 1 country. Then there was a question about the voucher and what can be covered with it. So that's something that we will have another webinar on it, either next week or the week after. So that's for sure. Please please follow our social network, and we will tell you exactly. For the moment, it's foreseen to be on the 9th of May, the next one. But please please follow our social network so that you really know about when and how to join. So the vouchers basically is just some money that we ask you to devote to use the services of members of our network. And when I mean network, I don't mean the partners in the project. Really, we're trying to build a network as big and as good as possible of stakeholders involved in wearables, at least all across Europe. We will see for the rest of the world later. And really, if you and then that's with these partners that you will have this this amount of at least 10 to 15,000 euros that we ask you to think about. Okay, what would be the best service for me? We can help you with this kind of question, of course. And then then you're going to spend these vouchers with these service providers. If you already have actually an idea about also services, like not only the type of service but who, also feel free to contact us for that, because of course your knowledge of your local ecosystem is better than ours. So there might be a very good actor that we may have overlooked, and we'd be very happy to add this this hub, this expert, or to our network. Then there are other questions that I see that my colleagues have responded. Camille?
So which one? I think I've responded to most of them. There was mostly the discussion was about Gantt charts and the open call too. And I think what I was basically saying is that we can supply a Gantt chart. I can do that sometime this week, hopefully, as well as how to make a Gantt chart, because it looks like, for example, Jessica is unclear about what the difference is. And the main difference really is that a Gantt chart is about your timeline when you want to achieve certain aims by in the implementation of your project, whereas the budget is how you want to spend the money that we give you. Please do look in the open call section of the website that talks about, I think it's one of the links on the page that says support to project teams, and see how the money will be distributed, I guess, to you, and then figure out what will be, how you want to spend that money in terms of what you want to have in terms of materials, people's time, what you want the mentors to help you with, that kind of thing, how you need, like what kinds of services you need and support that you need, and how much that will cost. So the budget is really a specifically different document than the Gantt chart. And then I guess Rachel's pointed out that you'll have to work all these things out in advance. My suggestion is that everyone take the questions online, create a document that you share just with your team that you can create together, perhaps on Google Docs or something like that, and then upload your final proposal when you've answered all the questions, including a timeline or Gantt chart and I don't want to say rough, a relatively well worked out budget, but it might not be your final budget once you're selected, if you're selected. Anything else I should say about any of the other questions you had that I didn't see? I think you had a few emailed to you.
Yeah, indeed. After the template for the Gantt, there is a question from Jessica Smarsh on are we expected to submit a budget proposal? Yes, you are. It doesn't have to be necessarily precise, but still you need to give an idea about which money you want to spend for salaries, what if you need maybe material, and so on.
There's a
questions that haven't been answered.
Yeah, there's one about not understanding about the network.
So I think on the network, how to use it is, first of all, to put your own project, your own organization or yourself on the network. and indicate whether or not you're looking for another team member. It is true that at the moment we're quite early stage in getting all profiles up and running. So the more profiles are there, the more choice there will be online and more visibility online on who is looking for team members. I think all of the consortium partners have been in contact with many different organizations, so we can only recommend you to really go to the network, add your organization or your personal profile to the network. If there's any issue, send us an email. We're more than happy to help you out. And then during the during the launch events or during the many events that are happening, we will make sure that we provide information about whoever is looking for a partner. So I hope that is answering your question. If not, please feel free to to redirect it.
Yeah, that's good. And I will answer the question around the vouchers, which is that yes, you need to use the vouchers as part of the project allocation. This is part of the stipulation. But what I would suggest is people work out a budget and not thinking about that at first, thinking about what would your ideal budget be, and then we can work on the voucher system with you if you're selected, because I think that's a bit complicated at the moment. So just keep it in mind, because this is how you will get some of the money. Some of it will be through vouchers, and we will suggest services that can meet the needs that you have for your project. And then in other cases, there will be other funding made available for you for fees for your team or for subcontracting, that kind of thing. So work on a budget that works for your project, and then we can work on the vouchers with you after the fact, after selection. And then there was a question from Sabri, but there was, or maybe there wasn't, I don't know.
I think it was covered.
Okay.
I think that I see a question about does the funding work from Tim? Does the funding work on a repayment basis where project costs are refunded? If I understand the question correctly, it's about the schedule, basically, for the payments you will receive. So it's not that all the money is given after 6 months. Actually, it will be in 3 installments. So there will be some money up front, but also and then there will be another installment after a midterm evaluation. And then a final payment after the final term evaluation. So we hope by this way that the teams do not have to to provide too much money in advance. I hope it answers this question. And there's a question about after open call 1, is there feedback from Jessica? If not chosen, can we improve our proposal and apply again for call 2?
We haven't discussed that yet, really, but I would suggest that it depends on how many submissions we get. If there's 200 people wanting feedback, that'll be difficult, but I think we will try our best to give feedback where we can. Keeping in mind,
we can improve,
yeah, I was going to say, keeping in mind we have a double or triple blind jury, so we have to make sure that they have feedback that we can share with you, and that's something we'll work on, and if we can provide feedback, we will.
Yeah. No, but indeed, that's already at least the feedback from the reviewers. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's a couple more questions.
Yeah. Is there a chance for a private company to candidate as technology innovator within the network? That's a question more for you, Ingrid, I think, and I think the response is yes, but.
But you need to have an artistic designer on your team.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get it. Indeed, you mean? Yeah, the question is indeed. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean, I think a private company is definitely eligible as long as they have an artist/designer as part of their team from the very beginning of the project development. That's a requirement for the European Commission for this project.
So, and as you will see on the network, there are already a couple of private technology providers who have added themselves to the network. So I think that it's an ideal opportunity to, to promote which kind of technologies you have in hand. Eventually as well indicate a bit of track record or implementations that have been done already. And then, I assume that people who are interested, looking for technology support, they would find you, and you guys can form teams with them.
Okay, I think it's time to close, and we've responded to all the questions. Again, if we missed one question, sorry, do not hesitate to send us a mail afterward. You will anyway receive, for all the people registered that attended, a feedback form. Also, it would be very nice if you can respond to it. This way we can improve not only the next webinar, but in general, the information we provide on social networks, on our website, on the F6 platform. So thanks a lot for attending. You will definitely hear from us in the coming days. And have a good end of the afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.